Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's show, Blunt Talk with Joey Blaze, live from a hotel room, a Best Western here in Culpeper, Virginia, where I'm working at for the next couple of days. So bear with me on everything. It's kind of a different set than what we're used to. I'm just started a new job last week, and with it, it's a traveling job, so I'm kind of out of town from about Sunday to Thursday usually. When I am traveling, this is one of those weeks. Um, so I'll be doing Culpeper today, tomorrow, leaving Tuesday, and then heading to Harrisonburg. Before you'll find me over at Ocean City next week. Supposed to arrive on there Friday. Be there all weekend. So we got that posted in there. There's the Zoom link in the comments for those who want to see it. So here we go. Let's start with a recap of OMFFL. Um, to start it off, first game of the day, it was Rampage 14, Misfits 7. Um, Basically, that game was very close, very competitive. We knew it was going to be a tight, chippy game the whole way through, and it lived up to the hype. Defensive game overall. Chris Boone returning to the quarterback position after being out for a month of an illness. He had actually lost 18 pounds being sick. We'll try to have him on later, but glad to see he's starting to do a little bit better. Game was ended on a Marley Mayo interception to Boone to seal the deal. So win there for Rampage, and good start to the day for them. Some momentum heading into the tournament this weekend coming up. Second game of the day, it was Misfits 19, No Mercy Scorpions 14. Big shocker there. Misfits knocking off the Scorpions. I believe that's their first loss in OMFFL play in a long time. They went 13-0 last year, I believe. Had an undefeated streak, only surrendered 1 point per game. Today, however, that Scorpion defense surrendering 19 against the Misfits, and they would give up 13 against Rideout later. We'll have more on the Scorpions in a moment, but Misfits victorious. They knock off the Scorpions. Big momentum boost for them after the letdown with Rampage a few minutes prior. Really looking forward to seeing how they do the rest of the way, especially heading into this weekend in Ocean City. We're going to have some stiff competition. We're looking forward to seeing what happens. So really excited about that. Looking forward to it. Third game of the day, it was Rampage 16, Rideout 13. Rideout made their first appearance playing in a bit. We hadn't seen them in OMFFL play yet. They showed up today. That was a tight competitive game with Rampage. Rampage went up 9-0. There was some controversy in the second quarter when Rampage went for a field goal and instead went for a fake and scored on that. The argument was because it was a declared play, it wasn't counted. Some say it should have counted, some say it shouldn't have. Instead, it didn't really hurt Rampage in the end, but it was something where it kept right out in the game. They bounced back very well. Shout out to them. They came out and balled today. Rideout played really well, despite not getting a win at all. So we get to the last game, which was a 13-13 tie between the Scorpions and Rideout. That game was very good. Proc and Company were down 13-0 entering the fourth quarter. In fact, they had given up 26 unanswered in four quarters to Misfits and Rideout before rallying back in the fourth quarter to win the game, or tie the game, rather, I should say, just shy at the end. Ball was broken up in the end zone. So on the day, looking at the OMFFL, Rampage, they had the best day by far. They went 2-0 on the day with at the end of the day, plus 10 margin of victory. They looked really impressive against Rideout, who's always up there, always a top 10 B team at the very least, top five some years. And of course against the Misfits, who are on the rise right now. They're making big moves. We're looking forward to seeing the Rampage in action next week. They got 717 Elite and the Dirty Birds. Really looking forward to that. We're going to have more details on that when we do the B coverage on Wednesday night. We'll talk about that. Second place on the day. This was not an official tournament, just regular season play, just kind of looking at how everybody did on the day. Second place in my eyes be the Misfits. They were 1-1 the day. They were driving down the field in their final drive against Rampage before Boom was picked off by Mayo. And they came out and beat Scorpions, gave them their first OMFFL loss in a while. You got to give a lot of props to how this Misfits team played. They're really starting to gel together as we get closer and closer to the Ocean City tournament. Really looking forward to seeing how they do. We're going to have more on the Misfits and that tournament on Tuesday night when we do the A show. I'm looking forward to that. Third place on the day, record-wise, they both set it 0-1-1. It was Ride Out and No Mercy. However, if we're going to talk tiebreakers, technically you got to give the lean to Ride Out. Albeit by the end of that game, the Scorpions have become almost a better team. They had all the momentum, just couldn't convert on the extra point. Ride Out had a good day up until that fourth quarter. Like they had a great game of Rampage. And then with the No Mercy Scorpions, they were beating them 13-0. There was a possibility of them donutting them for a second. And instead, there was a rally late in the game. Scorpions came back. They fought hard. They fought tough. They did what the Scorpions do best. And you got to give props to Ride Out. They came out and played. They won't be at Ocean City, unfortunately. Was really hoping to get a chance to see them again. I didn't get much of a chance to see them at Nationals. I was happy to see them today. Looking forward to seeing more of them. Scorpions, as you know, we'll have them in Ocean City next week. They're going to be taking on 3-point spread. And, of course, they'll be taking on the High Rollers. That's currently the matches that are set for Ocean City. Like I said, we'll have more on the A bracket come Tuesday night. That'll be the A show that is currently slated for 8 o'clock. We'll be in a different hotel at that point. I don't know which one we're heading to next, but we'll see where our journey takes us as we travel our way across wherever we're going. Heading down now. That was really it for OMFFL. We're going to have a more in-depth conversation on Owings Mills right around, I would say, next Tuesday. We'll have that episode for you inside the OMFFL, where we're going to be taking a look at what's going to be coming for Owings Mills entering the month of May. We're going to do a reset of the league, see where everything stands, break it down by the first 2 weeks, see what's going to happen come week 3. So really looking forward to that. So that was OMFFL for the week. Let's shift gears. Was trying to see, don't got a guy yet. Don't think I'm going to get anybody at all, but we're going to move along to Washington County real quick. Recap of that. Supposed to have somebody on, but he's not answering. He might be busy. First game of the day, or he doesn't want to answer. First game of the day in Washington County. Broad Axe beat Ruckish 20-2 is what I was told. Whew. Tough times for the Orangemen, man. Tough times for Ruckus. Ain't what they used to be. That's for sure. Second game of the day. As for Broad Axe, though, that's a good statement to start the season. You come out there, you beat up on a team that last season beat you. In fact, going into this game, Broad Axe had not beaten Ruckus since the 2018 spring season. So 3 years without a win in the regular season against them. They finally broke it today. Shout out to Broad Axe. Some momentum They got entering the Ocean City tournament. Really looking forward to seeing how they do next weekend. Second game of the day. I've seen different scores on this one. Someone's telling me Warriors beat Pure Chaos 39-19. I thought I read. Crazy game from the looks of it. Really looking forward to seeing how both of those teams grow throughout the year. Warriors offense setting a franchise record. Hey, shout out to my guys over there in the white and the red. Big shout out to them. And yes, I was looking back to make sure it's with the right jersey. I always get them mixed up. I have no perception this is a mirrored image. But you got to give a shout out to them. Warriors look sharp. They have 13 guys from what I was told as well. Really came together. Shout out to my guys. Love y'all. Sending much love. Wish I could be there to see y'all. Hope to see y'all soon. Going over to the next game after that. We'll have more on that with the Warriors next Thursday, the 29th, for a new episode of the Warriors. We're going to have Ross Collins and I on again. I should not be traveling that day. So, moving on to the next game. Heard this was a good one. Someone told me Broad Axe 27, Spartans 19. This was a B bracket preview game. Shame nobody had film on it. Sounded really amazing. I was told by an eyewitness that the Spartans were up by 2 scores at one point before there was a rally back by Broad Axe, who took the lead, got an 8-point lead at the end, and managed to come away with the victory. So Broad Axe 2-0 on the day, man. You got to give Broad Axe a lot of credit. They're really coming to play this Ocean City season. I think Tom is out there ready to go. He wants to get his men prepared. This probably might be his last time. Who knows? I think they're loading up, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Broad Axe surprises some people come OC time. They got a tough draw, though, with Team Petty and the Long Island Demons. We're going to look into that a little more, like I said, Wednesday night when we do the B show. But for now, Broad Axe getting a win over a circuit team in the Tri-State Spartans today, and a win over a Ruckus team that they had not beaten in the regular season since spring 2018. Crazy to think about that. In a rivalry that Ruckus had not even beaten them, period, until that spring 19 season. So shout out to Broad Axe, man. Must be Middletown. And yes, I know this is a Miller High Life and not a Miller Lite. All right. So, final game of the day. I was reading about this one earlier. Spartans 34, unremarkable. Yes, it's unremarkable, not unremarkable, like I've been saying for the last few weeks. 15, Jamie Zimmerman, not Z-Man. Let me know that was their name and that his name is not Z-Man. It's actually Jamie Zimmerman. So shout out to Jamie. I heard a lot of good things about his team today. Putting up 15 points against that Spartans defense is pretty impressive. I like what he's doing so far. I know he said he's heading out for the season. Man, I like to see him go out there and do this all year, man. I like to see him go out and play. Like, hearing about the unremarkable team today, I would like to see how they play going forward. Hope we get a chance to catch one of their games sometime soon. They won't be at OC, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll catch them in a tournament sometime this year. You know, Z-Man, Jamie, if you're watching, love to see y'all come out to Charm City later in the year when that happens in Baltimore. Would love to see what this team could do going forward. A lot of teams out there who haven't gotten out much, love to see what these guys can do traveling. That's really it for the county stuff. We're going to, like I said, we'll talk about the Warriors and Washington County on our show, The Warriors, April 29th when that returns, 11 days. Just a brief recap going over and kind of talking up some OC stuff. So that's what we got for Washington County. So, yeah, looking at the weekend so far, you look at how circuit teams did. Looking at league, Broad Axe, Tri-State Spartans, they're the two circuit teams that are playing in Washington County this season. Broad Axe 2-0 on the day, They ended up with a plus 25 margin by day's end. Um, they poured it on Ruckus. I think they said they made those Ruckus players think back to the old days in that one. Shoot, that did not sound pretty. Wishing the best for the Orangemen, man. They've had a tough going for the last couple of seasons. It's been hard to keep that organization stable. I hope they're able to keep going. Rough start with Axe, though. We'll see where they go the rest of the way. But Broad Axe, they got to come back on the Spartans. You got to say that is a great way to get them going because a lot of people were talking up this tri-state Spartans team. Spartans felt like they were the best team in the WCFFL. They were the best team in the four-state. Broadax sent them a reminder today that as far as they're concerned, this is their turf. You're not going to go into a big dog's yard and just walk in. And Spartans, they got that win last year on Broadax. Not the case this time around. Got to give a shout out to the Axe, man. They're not giving up. 30 years strong. Love to see what they're going to do come Ocean City. A lot of respect for the organization. I'm really glad to see them back in circuit play. It's been way too long. And today, I think is that jump start they need to get some momentum to give them a shot come Ocean City next weekend. Because it's going to be a tough gauntlet. Something that those players at Axe, they've gotten some bump out here in County, whether it be from Adrenaline Rush or the Misfits or Showtime or X Dogs. They always get some good competition. Like to see what they're going to do next week. Spartans, I think they had a bit of a reality check today. Reality set in very fast for this team. You look at the Broad Axe loss, that's 2 games where that defense has looked rough in a row, going back to that primetime game last week. So now you're kind of wondering about the Spartan defense a little bit. They're not quite living up to what people thought they were. That offense, however, they're able to put up the points. That much is certain. We've seen it. 53 points today. 53 points today that they ended up I'm actually made this kind of 42. Sorry, my head's a little rough. It's been a long day. This is hitting the spot, trust me. But right now, Tri-State, they're in a bit of a tailspin. Their last 3 games heading towards this tournament, you had the primetime game where that defense was just absolutely gashed for 3 straight quarters until Champ Moore and company gave that game away. And I don't care what they say up in York, they gave that game away. They have no one to blame but themselves for that loss. They should have beat the Spartans. The Spartans should be looking at losing 2 out of their last 3, honestly. But you look at that, and you also take a look at the unremarkable team putting up 15. I give a shout out to Jamie Zimmerman, man. 15 points for a debuting team is a lot in Washington County. I can tell you for a fact, not many teams who play their first game in league play, unless they have a lot of established guys within the league already, usually do that well. I think there's something to that team. I think they're going to make it interesting. Overall, I've seen the growth of flag football in the 4-state. Like I said, Broad Axe, they're looking good going in. Spartans looking a little shaky. Starting to wonder a little bit about Tri-State. You look over at Rampage, how well they did today. They're showing a lot of potential. I think they're easily a contender in that B bracket. Easily. They have been a standard in the DMV for a while. Misfits, I think they showed they could definitely play on that, at the very least, a lower A level. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up with the Lions come Saturday night. I think that's going to be a great game. You take a look also at No Mercy Scorpions, kind of wondering about them. Their last 3 games in OMFFL play. Let me specify that. OMFFL play. We're not going to count what happened in MAFL outside of that Rampage game, which was a league game. In those last 3 games, they're sitting at 0-1-2. and the margin of difference is a -5 in those 3 games. And their defense has given up a total of about nearly 40 points in those 3 games. So question is this basically, are they holding back? What are the Scorpions, what's No Mercy going to do? Especially when they face an offense like the High Rollers come Saturday. Because I feel like they're going to be in for something that's going to hit very differently. My hotel's loud. Yeesh. But right out, they won't be at OC, which is sad. I would love to see them play OC. Right out's always one of those teams that are great to watch. The walls are so thin. Oh my god. I can hear those kids out there. Yikes. I don't know if y'all can. That doesn't help I'm talking low either. Now they're going right by my door. Y'all need to go to bed. Yikes. Kids, man. Kids. Kids, man. Kids. We go back to talking about teams. Right out, they're not going to be on the circuit. I'd like to see some of the guys out there. Ruckus, they'll have some of their guys probably likely playing for Misfits. Some might be playing for Bees. We'll see where they end up at. Been a while since we've seen them on the circuit. They haven't been on there since, I would say, Ocean City 18 was their last appearance. Been 3 years for Ruckus already. They had that thing with the Raiders for a bit. That's kind of going to the wayside. So we'll see what ends up happening with them. Warriors, they look pretty good today. Of course, we'll talk about them later. Finishing up the teams in that area. Spartans looking a little sketchy. We'll see what ends up happening there. Been tough for Tri-State, though. You got to look at this defense. Tri-State has given up a total of 67 points in 3 games. That is an average of surrendering 22 points per game, entering a tournament where they're going to play Baez Auto and Bad Boys. That is not looking good going into that tournament. I'm just saying. Unremarkable. They had a pretty good debut. Like I said, I would love to see them get out to one tournament before Z-Man hangs up the cleats. And yeah, I'm going to keep probably accidentally calling you Z-Man, Jamie. I mean, it's kind of stuck to me at this point. That's all I got. Someone says they're ready to join, but they haven't joined. I don't think they realize I'm ready for them. All right, let me tell them I'm ready for them. All right, cool. So that was OMFFL, Washington County. Right now, we're going to shift. We're going to do a quick recap here for KFFL, the Keystone Flag Football League. All right, let me tell them. Joining me right now, my co-host over at the Extra Yard with Keith Giles. He is Mr. Keith Giles.
Hello, Mr. Blaze. How are we doing this evening, sir?
Just muting everything again. Hold on. Yep, I did mute it earlier. My bad. Now you're good, Keith.
All right, there we go. Good evening, Mr. Blaze. How are we doing this evening?
Good, good. How are you? Sorry about that. I had it muted earlier for the intro.
It's all good. Been a rough day, to be honest, but nice to be able to relax here a little bit this evening.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Sorry to everybody in Washington County. I had some car issues. Belt snapped on me last night, and so I am without a car at the moment. So hopefully I'll be getting that fixed tomorrow and be all good for Ocean City.
Hopefully, sir. Let us see you out there at the beach. For now, though, let's talk about what happened this past weekend in Keystone. We're just going to go over the scores here, talk about little things, and I'm going to take this opportunity and talk to you about the Killer Bees for the league play. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday about the circuit game. But for tonight, let's talk about the league ball a little bit. You all came out there first game of the day, 23-0 over the Outlaws. Going through that game as a player, give me your thoughts.
It was definitely a slow start. We weren't really executing very much on offense. Around the second half came around, we had a nice little team meeting, team huddle, got the energy back up, and the offense came out rolling a little bit more. Defense was strong throughout the game. It was what we could have done a little bit more. That was definitely not our best performance against them could have been. But holding them to a shutout, that's what our defense was supposed to do, and we did it. The offense still put up 3 touchdowns. So, going in the right direction as far as where game 1 stood.
Yeah. It seems like the Bees have gotten it right. We had a stat yesterday. You all won 23-0 the first game of our Outlaw. Second game, 28-12. After Tay came in at quarterback, that offense proceeded to put up a total of about 6 touchdowns, I do believe. 7.
Well,
Y'all were electric yesterday once Tay got there. That really showed that final missing piece of the puzzle. I see where y'all were going with this, and I feel like if given time, let it develop throughout the season, the Killer Bees definitely, with all that talent you all have potential to be a contender in the Keystone Flag Football League this season.
Oh, absolutely. And I was referring to game 2 against Venom. That was really our first game as an pretty much entire base solid team. We were still missing a piece here and there, like Jack on defense. But that was our most solid team that we've had there yet. And so a little bit of it was still getting used to, Tay being at the quarterback as far as offense is concerned. Defense, we still did all right. I know me personally, I wasn't happy with my final drive, but we had a good defense against Venom. Could have been a little better. The offense, just seeing them start to work together a little bit gives a lot of hope into the rest of the season. And when Tay's there, it's only going to get better, and the team's just going to get more dangerous. This is not the team that played the team that played against Venom will become a much solider unit than what was against the Spartans. Solider. Judge me, that's fine.
You Pennsylvanians. Says a Marylander who's at Virginia.
Yeah, right. No, it was nice to have the main portion of the team there, and definitely big things to come.
Looking forward to seeing how the Killer Bees do throughout the season. We will not see you guys at league play again until May 8th, actually. You got every game on May 1st, Keith Giles, unless you're busy that day.
No, I will be there bright and early for all the games, of course. It's a little upsetting, to go to Ocean City, and, we expect to do well down there. And then to come back and have to sit a whole week kind of sucks. But, at least it's a lot of intense football we're about to be in for. Some of us, it's our first time, like myself. So I guess kind of double-sided or two-sided arrow, whatever that, works out.
Coin, so to speak.
Two-sided coin, whatever. Okay. Two-sided something. Cheers. But
drinking a Pepsi.
Hey man, I gotta be careful. Drinking don't work for me much anymore.
You could drink Dr. Pepper at least.
That's Candace's favorite soda. But no, I was raised on Pepsi.
She's got good taste in soda.
She does, obviously.
All right, moving on to the next game, third game of the day. Reckless Village 24, West Virginia Venom 7. This game was over very fast. It was 18-0 by the second quarter. Keith, what did you see out there, and what exactly happened to Villain's offense? Is it more of a stall, or did TJ and company just pack it in and get ready for the X-Dogs?
So Venom upset me from the start of that game because that was not the Venom that we have seen for every single game that they've played thus far, even including the one previous with my bees. They looked flat, they looked out of energy. Lucas was getting frustrated. It just didn't seem like it was a very cohesive unit there uh, at the start of the game. And it took them a little while to finally channel it back into game mode. And you saw them get better as the game went on. But that first half specifically was just terrible. Um, the villains, uh, you could say they stalled it out. They had held Venom. Venom had a terrible first half, so they were probably feeling very good. They know Venom's a tough team, that they will give you their best fight. And so holding them to their worst half yet, they may have taken a little bit of a step back, but they still won. They still, finished the job. So all credit to the villains in that one. Venom, make sure you keep the energy, because that's what gets you guys so competitive in all these games. I know you haven't won anything yet, but there's a lot of hope, and it comes from the energy that you guys show in the field. So keep working together, and you're going to be just fine.
Survivor strong.
Absolutely. So
moving on to the next game on there from yesterday, it was a score of 14-12 X-Dogs over the Villains. Got to give a shout out to this X-Dogs defense. In fact, Lionel Offit, I think that's his last name pronunciation. If I'm wrong, Lionel, let me know. He's from Rideout, played for Misfits in the county, for those who don't know. He gave a lot of compliments to the X-Dogs defense on the Uncut page yesterday for just playing excellent team defense. And when you face a team like the Reckless Villains with the athletes they have at the receiving core, and that man TJ Williams in the backfield, that's a tough draw to always get.
There's one play in particular that really stood out to me throughout that game, and it was the tip pass that Marley had in the end zone that George caught for the touchdown. Like that was a tip drill touchdown and good concentration on George. But if that would have bounced in favor of the Villains, they could have handed the X-Dogs the loss. Like it really, in a way, came down to a bounce of a ball. They gave the X-Dogs everything they could handle. I know the X-Dogs switched quarterbacks. Matt started the first half, and then they switched. I forget the gentleman's name at the moment.
I believe it was Isaiah Greer.
Isaiah, yes, it was Isaiah. So they switched in the second half, and not much really changed as far as the offense is concerned. It still kind of ran about the same. But the X-Dogs defense, they stood tough when they needed to stand tough. And, villain, like I said, what's that?
No, that's me thinking to myself about something earlier.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Villains.
When I do that, if I don't say it out loud, don't pay attention to
it. You're good. No, but the Villains absolutely gave the X-Dogs everything they could handle and could have won that game if a ball bounces a different way.
Absolute facts. I agree with that. A very close game, came down to the last play, an incompletion in the end zone that would have given the Villains a tie at the very least. Good job to the X-Dogs, though. That was one of those games where we wondered, could the X-Dogs pull it out? We talked about it on the Uncut page the other day. The X-Dogs at Shippensburg Memorial Park are now 28-4 as a franchise.
That's a hell of a record. And all they know is success, and they know how to win the games, whether it's a 2-point game or a 30-point game. So,
and they've been doing it well for 20 years.
It's incredible. Yeah, shout out again to the X Dogs. Matt, great job there again on Saturday as a whole unit.
So here's what's happening next. Let's take a look at the status of the teams from this past weekend over in the KFFL. We're going to primarily talk about Ocean City and momentum going in. I believe you were there earlier. I was talking about the Tri-State Spartans, and this does cross over into Keystone as they are a Keystone and Washington County team, part of the four-state group of five that'll be at the tournament next weekend. Um, your impressions, I'm going to tell you some scores. What's your thoughts? Broadax knocking off the Spartans 27-19 in a game where, from what I was told by an eyewitness at the game, they were up by 2 touchdowns, Tri-State was, before Broadax rallied back to get the win. Um, then you take a look at the second game. They took on Unremarkable. That's the new team with Jamie Zimmerman and company. They only won that game, don't get me wrong, 34-15 is a good win. But
That was a debut team, as I
and
heard
they
you
gave up
talking. You made a
15 point surrender to them, yeah. But don't get me wrong, Jamie and company, they've been playing flag together for 10 years. But for 9-man, this was their real debut.
So what I've seen from the Spartans in the KFFL is they have, if they do have a weakness, is the offense can sputter from time to time. They will bring it back. There's no question about that.
That's the thing, though. I think the offense is actually their strength right now. And I would not have said this a year ago at this time. Last year, I ain't going to lie, I was wondering about KP and where he was heading as a quarterback. There was a lot of criticism of him that had gone back to his Duck days, such as him going for the deep ball too often. But I'll say it, when you see him go for that, usually he's very successful these days. He's learned so much and grown as a quarterback, but you start to wonder, what is his defense doing right now? You think about it, Keith. 25 points surrender to prime time. You had 27 surrender to Broadax today. And those are two teams that arguably on the B circuit. In fact, some from I may be wrong, but I believe some of 717 Elite has primetime guys.
Well, I obviously not being able to really not be able to watch the games today. Uh, I watched your take on it earlier, and I'm going to be a little bit nicer to them, because I'm looking at it as, while yes, we can both agree primetime gave the game to the Spartans, but the Spartans did what they had to do in order to still win the game. So I'm going to give them a little bit more credit there, because it's not like it was just gifted. They gave them they had to cash in on the opportunity. And as far as the games today, giving up 15 points to a debut team, if they have players and ballers on the team, and I don't know, you said they've been playing for a little while. So, not knowing anybody, not ever playing against any of them before, 2 touchdowns, maybe a little bit of a shocker, but give that credit to the Unremarkables. And losing to Broadax, that's probably the gut wrenching one, obviously, but
That was something where
they had to go into that game knowing that they would be betting favorites to win it. And
let's think about it. Like, if you've been watching the comments, and let me speak as an executive and partial owner of the Warriors to some degree, little degree, none. I'm just an executive. I just wanted to get a reaction later on. Spartan's been talking a lot of stuff on Facebook. They've been very confident about how good they are with that hot start in KFFL. And I feel like today was the reality check that they needed, that they should have gotten with that primetime game last week. Because don't get me wrong, they won that game. Don't get me wrong, they came back and won.
Yes.
But you got to look at the fact 25-point surrender to that team. And don't get me wrong, a win is a win is a win. But Tri-State has to get that defense right before Saturday. Because if they don't, they're in trouble.
They could be in trouble. I have faith their defense will be able to hold their own. Just watching from what they've done so far this year. I think they're gonna make a mark in Ocean City. I have a feeling.
Let's see, man. Tough draw. They got Baez, Otto, and the bad boy.
Baez is, that one may be a loss, but I think they should be. I could see them splitting Saturday.
You got them over the bad boys?
I could see it. I watched some of the games you sent me and looked up some of my own, and well, I have a little bit of faith in them.
Okay. Keith is saying that Spartans could beat the bad boys, and Eddie Thomas is watching. Let me know how you feel, Eddie. It's going to be interesting week get ahead at Ocean City.
I know I'm excited for it.
Let's look at the Killer Bees real quick. They're going to OC as well. You guys, you got momentum, but it's going to be a different Bees team. We're going to have more on that come. We're going to talk about that a little more Wednesday. Yeah, because the Bees of KFFL, while there is some of the circuit Bees there, not all of them are going to be there, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, there's a couple we're not going to have, which hurts, but there's, we also have some we added that, are a nice addition. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to talk about it on Wednesday, and, we're going to make our mark in Ocean City too.
Let's see what y'all could do. X-Dogs, they got some momentum coming in. We were wondering, were the Dogs dead? Were they dying last year around this time? Last season at Washington County, it was
terrible.
2-6 they were in county last season. That defense was giving up 23 points per game. And then playoff time, Matt Eisenberg, man, he put it together. I said a long time ago, you got to watch Matt Eisenberg in November. It's different than when you play him in the regular season. Trust me. A lot of our guys learned that day just what Matty Ice can do when he beat the Warriors in the quarterfinals last year in Washington County. That was a big win for them. And then you take a look at the semis against Misfits. They were just 2 points short, 3 of getting the win, of beating the Misfits and being in that championship of Showtime. These Dogs aren't dead. And, in Keystone this season, you take a look at the start they've had. They did not take it easy against the Outlaws. They did take it a little bit easy, but not easy enough on the Outlaws.
Yeah.
What's that?
They did have 2 real close games here. Their last 2 games with Venom and
Villains, yeah.
And the Villains. So it's they might not be quite as high on momentum right now as they may normally be.
Like in that game, they had about 20 other guys. I will say they had some of their best guys, but when you don't have Jason Brady in there to go with Jason Kinsler, it could be a different. Same thing when you don't have Kinsler and just Brady. When you get these 2 guys together, that defense is 100% fire.
And I don't believe Kinsler was there over the weekend. Brady was, but
you got to give them credit for playing that Villains team.
Oh yeah.
TJ Williams, he's considered one of the hardest quarterbacks to guard in this area. And honestly, I felt like some of his best ball has been up here in Keystone the last couple of years. I think he's grown a lot more confident in his passing ability. and he's developed really well. But the X Dogs, they played great team defense on Saturday. And I feel like with the way they've been playing in the first three games so far this season, and with some momentum, and the fact they showed they could compete still on a circuit caliber level when they almost knocked off Misfits last year in the Washington County playoffs, they're ready to go. But they're going to have a tough draw. Blackhawks are to come ready to go. They're the MAFL champions. Tommy Lightfoot and company, they're going to bring in their best guys. Hopefully, it's a better game than the last time they played. Blackhawks were a little short that day, though, on terms of personnel. But it'll be cool to see Tommy Lightfoot, Matt Eisenberg face off this Saturday. Two longtime veterans that go 20 years into this game.
It's going to be a good game to watch.
Same for Riot Squad. Riot Squad is a team that not a lot of guys in this area knows about. They're from up there in Connecticut. I had a chance to watch them down at Nationals on day 3 when they took on the Blazers. And I'll tell you, they gave Rob Lane and company a lot of problems in that game. That defense came ready to play. And it's hard to go against a quarterback like Rob Lane. But that Riot Squad defense, they played him tough. They played him well. The only thing that killed Riot Squad in that game was the lack of an offense. I get the feeling that Riot Squad X Dogs game, I think both of those games, you're going to see an old school 9-man slugfest break out on that field over by Ocean City Baptist.
Well, I'm not very sure of those teams. I haven't watched them play, so I'm going to take your word for it.
I'll send you Riot Squad Blazers after this.
Heard that.
And then I'll send you a Blackhawks game. I got a bunch of them. I'll send you the time they beat us in York.
Oh, well, it'd be nice to watch watch one of your teams lose for once.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough loss too. Damn, bad memories. Bad memories. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the X Dogs play this weekend in Ocean City. First time they've been on the circuit since 2019. And truthfully, I felt like that 2019 team left a lot on the table in terms of circuit play. It was a shame. I felt like Matt and company that year could have, if they were able to travel, could have been one of the better B teams on the circuit that year. But, it's been a while. Blackhawks, they know what they're getting with X Dogs. They saw them in 2019 when they played Ocean City. Riot Squad, I don't know if they've even heard of X Dogs. So I think it's going to be very interesting for both sides. Overall, Keith, how do you feel watching? You were an OG in Keystone. I believe you were there at the start when Eric founded the league. Am I correct, or am I a little off on that?
Nope, I have been there since game 1, sir.
So you take a look, Keith. 3 years ago at this time, the Keystone Flag Football League was in a position where you all had no refs whatsoever. And the 6 teams you had were X Dogs and their 5 bitches, so to speak. Killer Bees, Browns, Spartans, Ship Flip Gators. And believe it or not, the only team that scored on them that season was, what were they called? Shippensburg Med School, something. Were they what was that team?
Oh my God.
Medical Red Shirts or something?
Yes.
They were a bunch of college kids from Shippensburg University.
Yes, they were. It's funny you bring them up. I completely forgot about that team.
Yeah, believe it or not, they were the only team who scored on X Dogs that season. X Dogs beat everybody 40-0 because that was the mercy rule. There were no referees in Keystone either. Players had to officiate and volunteer.
Yeah.
And now here we are, 2021, 3 years later, there will be 3 KFFL teams on the circuit.
It's been incredible to be able to watch it grow. And for me, when I started playing flag football was in 2015, was 6-man out in Everett, Pennsylvania. It's an hour from where I live one way.
I
And
know wherever it is.
yeah, there was because I had never heard of it. I had just started a new job. A guy I worked with there refed, and that got me back into flag football. And then Candace one day saw on Facebook Eric put it up and looking for players, and that's how it kind of started. And now to see all the talent, the talent that the Bees had uh, first season. Um, we had a couple good players, but most of the team was pretty trash. I believe there's only 4 of us that are still uh, original. Me, Jerry. I believe BJ came in the second session. Tanner, of course, Robert, Eric, and that may be it as far as original first seasons. And to see all the talent that wants to come into on our team and just come into the league in general, see the growth and the enthusiasm. It's been awesome to watch it grow, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
I'm happy to see it grow too, man. The Keystone Flag Football League has certainly made a lot of strides. There's a time of day where Tyler Spencer and I would sit here and make fun of you all on our show. And nowadays, he's playing in the league. I'm filming your league. And man,
And here we are talking about it prime time on a Sunday.
life comes at you fast. Things change quickly. Shout
And
out to Keystone, man. I'm really happy. Hey, I just saw Eric commented. Eric, I got to give you a shout out, brother. Good job on the league. Really hoping to see it continue to grow. Hopefully, we can get something more going up there in Shippensburg. It's great to see 9-man continue to spread. I feel like it's good. It's also good to see, Pennsylvania is going to have a big presence in this tournament this time
yes,
around. You talk about Killer Bees, they're a Pennsylvania team. X Dogs is a Pennsylvania team. You got Baez Auto, 717 Elite. I might be missing one, but I don't think I am. Pennsylvania, Southern PA is really growing in 9-man. And it's nice to see that connection. You just go right across Route 30, and that separates Killer Bees and X Dogs from Baez Auto and 717 Elite. Really looking forward to seeing how this all continues to grow. Anyways, Keith, anything else you got to say tonight?
uh, no, I think that's good for tonight. Good luck to everybody going out to Ocean City until you face my Killer Bees, and you know we're gonna be ready to go. I'm excited for it. And I will also be recording the games, some A bracket games there also. So TryHard
Yeah, we'll
Sports.
actually confirm that. We got you set up. We're going to confirm it already on air. If the schedule stays the same, you never know. People could drop out, things could change. Right now, we're going to have both of us calling games at 6 o'clock over at the north side field over by the 122nd Street. It's going to be my end. I got Misfits and Lions, and Keith Giles will have for you Elite Rebels versus the 148 Outlaws. For Keith, this is his first circuit tournament. He'll be out there filming. Man, I'll tell you, I'm proud of you, Keith. You've come a long way since I met you 2 years ago out there on the field in Keystone. You've done a lot of great work. You've certainly made a lot of strides out there. You're right where I was with this about 2 to 3 years ago. I remember my first tournament I filmed, Hagerstown 2017. Great time, great experience it was for me. Got to see a lot of action. Got to see ADR win the A bracket championship. That was the last A bracket winner to come from the 4 state ADR 2017 Hagerstown. And then my first Ocean City experience, you'll get a chance to watch it tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on Joey Blaze. We will have it for you. Ocean City 2019 documentary. It's going to be lit. It's going to be legit. 11 games, film courtesy of myself, Jerome Russo of Predator Productions. You get an early glimpse of Jerome's work from when he first started out. And you also get the queen herself, Monet Anderson. Big shout out to Monet. Always loved her work. Always loved her commentary. She keeps it fun. She keeps it entertaining. You'll hear that along with James Sayers footage from the Mallet Bullets. So it should be a great documentary hosted by me and Tyler Spencer. Tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Ocean City 2019. The first time Joey Blaze went live traveling outside the 4-state.
It's going to be exciting. Thank you for the compliments, my man. Wouldn't be here without you. In all seriousness, I probably would not have thought about going to college without you helping me start this. So, I'm going to college for sports broadcasting for anybody that didn't know. So I have a lot of appreciation and a lot of thanks for what you've done for me personally and promotionally.
I'm glad to help you out along the way, Keith. Looking forward to help you out a little more. Ocean City, Keith Giles making his circuit debut, TryHard Sports. We'll have him on again Wednesday night for the B show. No pun intended. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Keith, for joining us tonight. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, brother. Good night, everybody. Go Bees.
Bye. Anyways, got another guest coming in. See if we can get him on. I had just accepted him. Is he on there? Says we got 2, so it might be a second. Keith Giles joining us. He'll be back on the air on Wednesday night when we're doing our next show in Harrisonburg for the B bracket. Looking forward to that. See if we get our next guest, Mr. Dylan DeSoto. Dylan, we got you on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good, sir. Good. In case anybody did not know, Dylan DeSoto from Rampage. Rampage 2-0 on the day today. This was their circuit. Let's put it like that. Today was a circuit day when you got Misfits and Ride Out. Walk us through it. What went down? First game with the Misfits.
With the Misfits, us formerly being with them as well last year at Nationals. It was good to see them again. We got them a few weeks back. They got the best of us. So it was good to get back out there and get a little bit of redemption with them. But, John and them guys over there got a hell of a team, man. I mean, Tay, Chris Boone at quarterback, Dirt, Derek, Black at the end, Nick at the end. They got a hell of a squad over there. So coming out that game with a good win, 14-7 over them. Then my man Marley coming up clutch in the end with that game-sealing interception. Big shout out to him on that one. He played lights out against them. A team that he knows well, and he's been playing with those guys for a while.
Yeah, in fact, Marley was actually on the Misfits in Washington County last season.
Yes. Yeah.
And fun fact, we go back. This was kind of revenge from Marley Mayo on Chris Boone. I don't know if you had a chance to watch or be there back last season when Misfits played Showtime in the regular season. Boone just kept targeting Marley all game and picking.
Yeah, I seen your live one.
Yeah, he was just going after Marley, and he did the same thing in the championship game. In fact, Marley got burned for the first 2 touchdowns in that championship game between Misfits and Showtime. But today, Marley got his revenge.
Yes, he did, big time.
Yeah,
it's a good thing for Marley. For him to get back out there after what happened with, Washington County, to especially do it on, this circuit. The circuit that we got right now with Owens Mills it's untouchable to me. The amount of talent between teams in this league. To have him do that game-sealing interception and the fact that he just played phenomenal defense all game, hats off to him. I mean, in the Misfits too, they played damn good. Chris was moving the ball, with Tay running that double quarterback. Then their defense with that rush they had was very solid. Can't really complain about that game. It was a solid game all around for both teams.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. That was an excellent game. that
sure.
lived up to the hype. And I go back to that meeting I was at last month in Kenwood, that pool play game for the tournament with No Mercy, Rampage, Misfits, and I
Yeah.
can't remember. I think it was Bad Boys was the other team. In that one. That was a good game as well, 8-7. That game-winning touchdown at the end with Chris Boone, the 2-point conversion to come afterwards.
Yep.
I gotta say, you all might be developing a little bit of a rivalry right now.
You can definitely say that with them. But again, like we said, between us playing together at nationals and all of last year and every York tournament, those are our guys no matter what. But it's good to have that rivalry with them because it's going to make us both better. We're going to learn how to play each other. And by them running, different sets like that double quarterback thing, that's also going to open up eyes to everybody else. Like, oh man, they're doing something a little bit different that you don't see often in 9-man. That double quarterback
offense, I'll tell you, that offense, while it might be a little foreign over that way, we've seen that offense firsthand over here in the fourth state for a while. That's a staple of that Chris Boone attack, is that double quarterback system, whether it's been with TJ Williams, whether it's been with Chuck Boyd, whether it's been with Mouse over here, or today you see it now with Tay Sosa, who Tay is just one of those guys who you can move all over the place. If you if you need that big possession tight end on top of the screen to throw a jump ball to in the end zone, throw it to Tay. If you need that big tight end who can lay out a guy on a block and then go out for a pass and catch, give it to Tay. If you can throw, give the ball to Tay.
On a rope, I've been playing flag football with Tay and Black over at Misfits, who also play with Red Knights, Rampage, AFN, all them guys. I've been playing with Tay and Black for about going on 10 years now. And we started out I started out indoor with them. And man, I remember Tay, you have a big net on the indoor. I remember that guy throwing that thing on the line for people. 60 yards, 50 yards.
Did you ever see the play in the Ocean City 2019 B Championship? Tay had a lateral roughly 30 yards down the field to Justin Fox. If not, it's on that documentary tomorrow night. It is a great play. He catches it. He catches a bomb from Tyler Murdiff, and then Tay literally chucks that thing 30 yards down the field, right on point to Fox without it going forward. And that was the game-winning score for AFN in that championship game against Baez Auto.
Yeah, I've watched Tay, again, like I said, hats off to everybody, both sides, but I've watched Tay for years, and that guy's he's a magician with different positions. You send him out any spot, he'll do it. Gladly.
Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this offense of the Misfits continues to grow. Thoughts on the second game, ride out. This was a very good one, especially that controversial fake field goal call by the officials.
Yeah,
you shaking your head.
Yeah, and that's another team with us that we've kind of had our bouts with. Last year down nationals, ride out was the ones that knocked us out at Money Day. So it also felt good to get them back for that one a little bit. Not last year, 2 years ago. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I remember last year because that was that 3-3 tie where I wanted to just gouge my eyes out halfway through. That was a rough game. That was one of the rougher games I've covered.
Oh yeah, you gotta tell us. We know.
I think getting off the plane had a lot to do with that for everybody that day.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a rough one, and then getting that 3-3 tie, and then coming back on Sunday, playing them again, and then them beating us to go on. It was rough, but it was good to get out there today and get a little bit of redemption back on that.
Yeah, excellent game overall between you guys. This was a good day of football in the OMFFL. Yeah, the league right now, number one in the DMV by far. Even you go across the four state, I got to put OMFFL number one right now. No
Absolutely.
disrespect. Yeah, no disrespect to Maffel. I hope they get their facility situation figured out. It's a shame that Southern Maryland hasn't even set any opening guidelines yet for parks, and
No, nothing.
yeah, and that's really hurting that league a lot. Really hoping they can get something going very soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to give, here and there you hear people talk about best league, best league. I mean, you look at the most consistent top placers and tournaments, nationals, and all that. Obviously you got your New York teams that come out top every once in a while, but the OMFFL has literally been top in every tournament, every national. They're always up there. Their names are all our names are always in it, whether it's Rampage, Scorpions, soon to be Misfits. Tell you everybody gets in there. Renegades. Now Renegades are the bad boys, but still, people got to put some respect to the name of who we are.
Yeah, and with the way the league has really come around the last couple of years. We pulled up that stat a few weeks ago. Since Charm City 2019, that was the tournament where Brideout came into OMFFL territory and won. You take a look at the winners of tournaments. Clash of York won. Rampage, Capital Classic, A and B. Remember the celebration between Rampage and Scorpions at the end. OMFFL won on Maffel turf. And then at Nationals that season, you had the Scorpions go down and win B. Clash of York 2, Renegades, and Aftermath for the championship game. And you had Scorpions there as a semifinalist, almost in all OMFFL Final Four.
Exactly.
You look at what it could have. You look at this past Nationals. Rampage Renegades were the two semifinalists falling to the St. Louis teams. And I do want to give a confirmation. I have gotten the word. It's 100% official. The NTB Wolfpack will be an A circuit team for the 2021 season. Your impressions on that Wolfpack squad, the last circuit game you guys played back in January?
You got to give credit where credit's due. They played a damn good defense. They have really fast edge rushers. Gave us a little bit of a fit, but we felt as if we had that game. They just got that one play, man, that big jump ball in the end zone. We go back and we look at the video and the pictures of it. We had three guys right there. That guy just made one hell of a play. And that play broke it for us right there. That was the game sealer. It felt like.
Yeah, and
they are a solid team, man. They fill every position they got. They put the right positions, the right people out there to play. Hats off to them, man. I wish them luck and A.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I talked to Twan earlier also a little bit about St. Louis. Try to get him on tonight, but I don't know if we'll be able to get him on. I haven't heard back from him yet. St. Louis 9-man, they're set to kick off. They just got done their captain's meeting today. They're going to kick off May 2nd in the Lou. So we'll have another league out there playing 9-man. St. Louis back in action. I also got word from Twan. He's the commissioner over there at St. Louis 9-man. That the Spartans, they'll be back on the B circuit as well. So you got Wolfpack in A, that St. Louis Spartans team in B that nobody knew about coming into nationals, but they saw. Yeah, you saw what they could do out there. That was a good team they had.
They were the underdogs in the ratings. In the over-unders. They were the bottom of the barrel, and look how they came out.
They came out sharp. Everybody, and you saw what they did to the Renegades. They picked off Jaleel 4 times in that game.
Yeah, and that's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah,
he's a baller. Yeah. So to see that happen, I made some noise for
him. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was good to see. It was definitely good also with that nationals to see, 2 of the top teams in both states, OMFFL, Maryland, let's just say that, Rampage Renegades is one of the top teams. You always see them in the finals, semifinals. And then to see 2 teams from St. Louis come out of nowhere you weren't expecting. to face off in the championship.
And it was a hell of a time at Nationals, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Rampage next weekend, 717 Elite and the Dirty Birds. Let me ask you, what is the mindset of this locker room? You think today you all beat an A team in the Misfits, and then you follow it up by beating a perennial top 5, top 10 team and ride out. Where is Rampage at this moment heading to Ocean City?
With we got the same mindset we go into every tournament. We're there for, we got each other's backs. Win, lose, or draw, we do it as a family. Obviously everybody want to win, everybody want to come out on top. But after the way we showed today against the Misfits, and then playing a team again like Rideout, like you said, the potential usually always in the top 10, top 5 teams. To get out there and just get that 2-0 and get some points under us, and then especially getting comfortable with each other. Some of us are still new to the team, whether they come from Mathville, they come from Washington County, wherever they're from. Now we got to really try to make this Rampage a family, more of a family. So we're going to go down there. We're going to handle business like we always do. Saturdays are give and take. You never know who you're going to get. You don't know what teams are going to show up. You might get 717 might come up out of nowhere and put a hurting on us. You never know. We're gonna do what we got to do. We're gonna take care of business, and hopefully we come back with another Ocean City chip.
We will see what happens when Rampage takes the field in Ocean City. Any other things you want to add tonight, Dylan?
Nah, man, I'm good. I appreciate you letting me get on.
Appreciate having you on, sir. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Saturday when Rampage takes on the Dirty Birds and 717 Elite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Later. Dylan DeSoto joining us. So there's the updates around the rest of 9-man, of course. GCFFA has started play. They were starting 2 weeks ago. I've had a chance to watch some of the media that's being done by Pat Johnson at Workhorse Media. A lot of good stuff going on with the GCFFA up north right now. They got hella teams. They got 2 wonderful sites up there, one up in New Rochelle, the other in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Got to give love to them up north. Looking forward, they do have some of their teams, I do believe, coming down for this tournament, namely Lions, the Bulldogs, the Ducks. I'm not sure if the Demons are in there, but there will be a presence from the GCFFA coming up at this Ocean City tournament. Really excited about that. Really loving the media they're doing right now. If you ever had a chance, shout out Pat Johnson, Workhorse Media. They're doing good work up there in New York. St. Louis 9-man, as we mentioned, we talked to Twan G. I texted him earlier. He told me they just had their captain's meeting today, and they are going to be starting on May 2nd. So the Lou getting back in the 9-man action. Wolfpack trying to make that jump from B to A. St. Louis Spartans trying to make a name for themselves. More teams may be coming. Looking forward to seeing how St. Louis continues to grow as a territory. Things are looking really good in the 9-man scene right now. I'm really excited for everything that is coming this season in this flag football game, in this 9-man game. We're going to have more coverage, more content throughout the week. So we're going to run down everything. I'm going to give you a schedule of what's to come from now till next Monday. So remember this. You'll forget it by about 5 minutes from now, but try to remember the best you can. Here is the schedule for what's to come. Tomorrow night, 8:00 p.m., we will air the 2019 Ocean City Classic. And we got 11 games on tap. We got Baez Auto and Metro Reloaded. We got Affiliate Nation and the Maryland Titans. We got Ride Out and the Maryland Raiders. And then from there, We got some other games. We got from the A bracket. We'll get a taste of half the bracket. We have main event taking on Playmakers Elite. Believe that was Do's first meeting with main event after leaving. So you get a chance to see Do versus Mike D tomorrow on that one. You also get Adrenaline Rush versus the Maryland Bullets, as well as AFN's Sunday run against the Baltimore Wolfpack, the Long Island Demons, Rideout, and Baez Auto. You also get a glimpse as well at the A championship game and semifinals. Should be a great time. Looking forward to it. We got 11 games on that documentary, hosted by me and Tyler Spencer, from the original broadcast we did over at Ocean View back in Delaware in 2019, and footage as well as the 11 games. Footage provided by myself, as well as Monet Anderson. She's on a couple of those games, as well as Jerome Russo. You get a very early glimpse at his work. One of his first games is at A bracket semifinals. So you get an early glimpse of Jerome. You get some old school Joey Blaze. And of course, you got the queen herself, Monet. She's going to be live, the queen of the DMV on that tape. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. That'll be tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Show's about 45 minutes. Not a very long documentary. Just something to sit back and enjoy before we talk at 9 o'clock about the tournament to come this weekend, as well as the history of Ocean City. Tuesday night, we're going to talk A bracket. We're going to break it down with some analysts we're trying to see how things go. And then, of course, that'll be 8 o'clock Tuesday. We'll be in Harrisonburg for that one. Then Wednesday, we got the B bracket show, 8 o'clock as well. We're going to talk to B, interview some players, and see what goes down. And then, of course, we got the main show for you, Ocean City tournament coverage starting, I'd say about 11:30 for both fields. We're going to a bit of a later start than normal. We're going to have some fun Friday night. Your boy Joey Blaze, he's turning 30 on Thursday. We're going to be celebrating from Thursday to Monday with flag football and fun. Got nothing else. Nobody wants to say anything. I'm going to bed. I got to work at 7 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow night for some more coverage on Ocean City. Till then, I'm Joey Blaze. Good night, everybody.